You want to fight him again?
Yeah, for sure. We gotta make that bag.
That bad.
My first contract is signed for immediate rematch, when there's a draw, or if in the case of a draw, or if I win. So I'm already contractually signed to a rematch. It's on him.
We've been amateurs together, so I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight, but he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally.
Gervonta, in addition to taking some responsibility for his performance by acknowledging that he wasn't fully focused during the fight, Davis has finally broke his silence about signing the contract for a rematch with Lamont Roach. He also promised to prove himself in the rematch, which is now scheduled for soon. This self-reflection shows that Davis is aware of his shortcomings and is motivated to correct them going forward, with the fight now confirmed as his opportunity to redeem himself and silence critics. Both fighters are getting ready to settle. The controversy making this rematch one of the most anticipated bouts in recent boxing history.
I could have stopped him. It's me. Definitely my fault. It's all right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me too. That was on me for sure. Cause I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up, and I could have definitely did more.
Respected boxing expert Devin Haney offered his opinions on Lamont Pooch's performance, claiming that he has known Pooch since he was a little boy. Pooch was commended for his efforts in the fight, highlighting his belief that Pooch had done enough to win. His support lends validity to Roach's assertions of victory and encourages more discussion on the fight's conclusion.
And finally, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Gervonta Tank Davis situation. What was your assessment on his fight against Lamont Roach, and what are your thoughts on the knockdown that wasn't called in round 9?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight, but he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own two eyes, and yeah.
Yeah, you were, you've made some comments. I wanted to see the backflip, and I'm surprised Tank didn't say nothing back to you about that.
Hey, I was just speaking my opinion on it.
Given the controversy surrounding their first fight, there has been increasing speculation about a rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. According to reports, the fight could happen in June of this year. Davis is now under pressure to prove himself and silence critics who think Roach deserves to win.
Rumors are swirling that Gervonta Davis could be back in the ring around June to rematch Lamont Roach. Hopefully there's some truth to that, because Tank needs to redeem himself immediately.
Since both Davis and Roach have something to prove and their first fight ended in controversy, leaving fans split over the outcome, a rematch is anticipated.
The reason why I say this fight needs to happen again, because both fighters have something to prove. I just saw a tweet from Gervonta Tank Davis saying that he was going to activate the rematch. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Would I like to see this fight happen? Yes, I would like to see a fight happen again, because I think that the next fight is going to be a whole lot better, and I think the next fight is going to end with somebody being on the canvas, in my opinion. But I think that Lamont Roach, I want to give a shout out to Lamont Roach for putting up such a amazing performance. We never seen anyone stand there toe-to-toe with Gervonta Tank Davis. We never seen anyone there throwing punches, power punches, at Tank Davis and not being knocked out. And I also want to commend Tank, because Tank didn't have to take this fight.
Another fighter, Julian Gonzalez, thinks Lamont Roach will prevail if a rematch occurs, saying that both fighters would come prepared, working on the mistakes they made in the first fight to ensure a better performance. Gonzalez's faith in Roach indicates that the challenger has a genuine chance to win.
Who do you feel like wins the rematch?
Who wins the rematch?
Yeah.
They're both gonna come ready again. See, the first one was a tough one too. I had Lamont pulling it off, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, smudge. Like I wasn't mad at the draw. I'm gonna rock with Lamont though.
Think Lamont takes it?
It's hard.
Close, yo.
Because Lamont surprised me a lot, you know? So, yeah, I'm gonna say Lamont, man.
One of Lamont Pooch's sparring partners was upset about the fight's result, saying that Pooch genuinely prevailed but was unfairly cheated because of Davis's clout in the boxing world. He also claimed that the judges might have been influenced by Davis's status and power rather than assigning a fair score.
Shout out to my man Lamont.
All right, so you sparred Lamont Roach in preparation for his bout with Gervonta Davis. First, what did you think of the fight?
What did I think of the fight? It's a little different for me because it's definitely a point of bias there.
Wait, let me put out a disclaimer. He's from Baltimore.
Definitely, I mean, East Baltimore all day. But I'm looking at it from a point of bias because his dad, you know, Ben Johnson Sr. and all them guys that was down there, the coaches Tim and everything like that, they all good people. So I got to know them on a more personal level. And then I get to see like how hard a world champion works. And not only that, to see how he treated his people. So I was going for him just off of personality alone, but everything else, he made me believe in Kent for real. Because me and him like have similar personalities. Know what I mean, as far as the ring, you know what I mean. So everything we was ready for, like the talking shit and everything like that, because that was coming from me. You know what I'm saying, me and Lamont. So everything was just everything for real. I think he should have won too. You know what I'm saying. But actually, when I was there, I thought they actually was gonna like rob him. You know what I mean, but. You can't, you know what I mean, you can't deceive the people that's there for what they saying for real.
So you felt like he should have got the nod in the decision?
Especially with all the other controversy too. It should have been overturned, but we know how boxing works, but I mean, we running it back for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
Gervonta Davis's trainer recognized Roach's abilities and clarified that their fight plan had been carefully thought out. He recommended that, in the event of a rematch, they would only need minor adjustments to ensure Davis a more convincing win.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
In response to the controversy over Davis's decision to take a knee during the fight, Cano Alvarez said that a boxer may be disqualified under specific circumstances if they voluntarily take a knee. The argument over whether the referee handled the issue appropriately is further complicated by his remarks.
Did Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, if it was a draw, he take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face, that's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
Gervonta Davis's claim that his hair was excessively oily caused him to take a knee during the bout has been mocked by many fans. Critics say this was a flimsy defense and that a real champion would not have used such excuses. Demand for a rematch has only grown as a result of this dispute.
You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? That is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, don't, hey, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, hey, bruh, be on that. Because here's the thing. He never hurt Roach. Roach just waited. And Roach was squared up and turned sideways. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't think he had that. He was like, I'm like, oh my. And then he just sitting there like, you can't. I know what you're going to do because I've trained with you since we were kids. Tarver beat Roy, but he knew Roy since amateurs. Roy said he never liked fighting sparring partners because they know you so well. I should have listened to Roy.
Renowned pundit Joe Rogan has maintained that Davis and Roach must rematch, claiming that Davis could not ignore the controversy and that boxing fans should be able to see the bout resolved in a fair and definitive fashion.
Everybody saw it. You can't get around what everybody saw. Look, it wasn't a legit knockdown like he hurt Tank. Tank did have some shit in his eyes, but what are you doing putting shit in your hair when you have a world title fight? That's crazy.
And no one want to hear about it in the middle of a fight. That no one cares. If a fly by, drop the ball, bro.
Right.
Drop the damn ball. We don't care if a fly flew by your helmet or your eyes.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about that.
You can't be a championship fighter and taking a knee and putting on those type of performances.
Also, what are they putting in his hair? That when he's sweating it is dripping into his eyes. Like, what is that shit?
Yeah.
Bro, shave your head.
Weird, right? Yeah, exactly.
Shave your fucking head. Who cares?
Like, don't be pretty boy. You better go get this fight.
Get those fucking braids out of there. You don't need those.
In his commentary on the crucial moment when Davis took a knee in the 9th round, Joe Rogan said that a boxer should be deemed knocked down if they willingly go down on one knee. According to his study, the referee might have erred in judgment, which could have affected how the fight turned out.
Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach fight?
Yeah, that was trash.
Well, I thought it was a good fight. You didn't think
great fight, but I just champion guy taking a knee, talking about greasing his hair.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I'm like, yo, how you just in the middle of the fight just go wipe your face?
Also, here's the deal: if you take a knee, that's a
knockdown.
That's a knockdown.
Subtract 2, right?
You got hit with a jab.
Yeah.
You took a knee,
and then you walked off.
Exactly. That is a knockdown.
Yeah.
So I think they're reviewing that right now.
Nah, that guy should have lost, maybe.
Well, I feel like if they do review it and they do judge it as a knockdown, which it was clearly a knockdown to everybody, you take a knee, that's a knockdown. I think they will probably give it to Lamont.
This is a very interesting rule. They have a power slap that kind of talks about what you guys were just discussing.
Critics claim that Davis avoids the hardest challengers and only takes on fights that are advantageous to him, a practice that has long been accused of cherry-picking his opponents in order to keep an unblemished record. This impression is further fueled by the controversies surrounding the Roach fight.
That fight with Tank and Lamont Roach shows y'all how protected Tank has been for the past several years. And the people saying, oh, Tank know Lamont and he disrespected Lamont because they fought in the amateurs. Man, he was cherry picking Lamont, you know, and really thought he was gonna get that win. But Lamont wasn't coming to play around. You know, he stood his ground and fought back. And to be honest, he won the fight. The rematch is gonna be a knockout.
According to a number of boxing experts and former pros, if a rematch were to take place, Roach would have a good chance of winning because he revealed important flaws in Davis's strategy that he might further attack in a rematch.
Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach is staying as a draw, which is bullshit because Gervonta Davis obviously took a knee and it should have been counted as a knockdown, but it wasn't. But this just means that Lamont Roach is going to take Gervonta Davis in the rematch, unless Gervonta Davis ducks the rematch with Lamont Roach because he knows he's going to get his ass whooped once again.
If I get touched, I'm coming on that ass.
Although Lamont Roach performed well, Coach Bernie has stressed that he needs to be more aggressive in a possible rematch. Bernie feels that there were times when Roach could have demonstrated greater dominance. With greater focus and a more proactive approach, Roach might have secured a definite victory.
Documentary, you know, but he did good, Lamont Roach. But only thing, like I say, if he gonna go back and wish he threw his hands more, he might start getting mad at himself and realize that he when he watches the fight, it feel good to hear everybody say that. But when you go watch the fight and you realize, I let him slide too much. Like even the last round, he's standing there posing, looking at the man like and then he got caught with a jab. That wasn't good.
Many spectators booed Davis during the first bout, expressing their displeasure with his performance. This backlash increases the pressure on Davis to agree to a rematch and demonstrate that he deserved to win.
Gervonta doing this shows that it wasn't an outside strange occurrence, that it may just be a part of his DNA. For him to get hit in amateurs and then take a step back and take a knee when he obviously wasn't hurt, it just shows to me that instead of gritting it out, all right, and possibly get knocked out or taking those chances, he'd rather take a knee to disrupt the momentum and then start over. That's how I'm taking it. It can be a great strategy or it can be the
bully complex. That when you meet somebody and they're not fearing you, or they're not retreating or backing away from you, and they're showing poise and the ability to withstand your output and give some back, like any book, they kind of unravel.
The referee's decision to not register Davis's knee in the 9th round as a knockdown was a major source of controversy. Many people think this decision significantly affected the final score and outcome, and the issue has only increased calls for a rematch.
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm gonna let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. This was a money fight, clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage, but when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take in consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you supposed to have counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag. Go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But, man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real. Because this, be real, man.
Due to the controversy surrounding the bout, many boxing fans now view a rematch as one of the sport's most awaited events because they want to see the two fighters settle the score in a straightforward and conclusive way.
Yo, fight fans, did you catch that Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach bout? Talk about controversy. The judges called it a draw. But let's be real, a lot of people think Roach got robbed. Both fighters brought their A game, showing off some serious skills in the ring. Roach was on fire, landing clean shots and outworking Tank in several rounds. But Tank had his moments too, showcasing that explosive power we all know. But Tank going on one knee or being wobbled didn't swing it toward Roach. I don't know about that, but either way, now everyone's buzzing about an upcoming rematch. I mean, who wouldn't want to see these two go at it again? What's your take? Did Roach deserve the W, or was the draw fair? Drop your thoughts below and let's break down this fight.
After finishing the final 3 fights on his contract, boxing commentator Luke Thomas conjectured that Gervonta Davis might be thinking about retiring. If this is accurate, it could mean that Davis will not face Roach again, disappointing fans.
There is no call out. He doesn't do it. Now we're left wondering, are we going to get a rematch with this? Which I wouldn't hate, but I don't know if there's like a big demand for it. Tank has said prior to this night that like all of this is, you know, he's got 3 fights left. This would have been one of them. So that would have been at least 2 more essentially this year if he can squeeze them in. He said it was supposed to be against Tank and Shakur Stevenson. Where are we with that now? What does this do to that? I genuinely don't know how to answer that question. I really don't. I don't know what PBC is going to do. PBC has had a bit of a rough run of it. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to pile on their difficulties. But like they lost Canelo or whatever the fuck Canelo's doing. Then they still have Gervonta. He's still a big star. I'm sure this sold well. And again, it sold well as at the gate. So that's still great. But they're hoping to like build off of this. They didn't get it. They were trying to get something going with Tim Tszyu. That bottomed out last year.
Watch today's video until the following one.